Hey guys, this is Lala Legacy back with another episode of SeaBed. So, let's jump right back in here in a second. There we go. Okay, as we return to the hotel, Takako crumpled down on the bed, clutching her belly. At first, she was excitedly wolfing down her food, but by the time half of her steak was gone, her expression clouded over and tears began welling in her eyes. Before we knew it, our exciting dinner turned into a battle of willpower. I made Takako eat the pilaf I could no longer finish by myself, but neither of us could even touch the bread, and ultimately asked the waitress to pack it for takeaway. We can have this tomorrow morning. Only miserable groaning reached me in lieu of an answer. I wonder if I should put it in the fridge. I felt unsure for a few moments, but ultimately decided to leave the paper bag next to the teapot instead, as I didn't want it to get wet. After that, I took a shower and changed into my indoor clothes. Recommending a shower to Takako, who was still laying on the bed, seemed to have made her slowly get up. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better, I think. By the way, what do you think we should do about tomorrow? Tomorrow? It's gonna be fun! I can't wait! She answered, oh. Okay, tomorrow? It's gonna be fun, I can't wait! She answered in a soulless voice and continued to the bathroom, undressing as she walked, throwing her clothes on the ground. And I'm assuming they went to bed. I hear waves! Yeah, beach! I want to go so bad. Huh. Takako jumped on the pier as our fishing boat drew closer to the shore. As the boat began slowing down, I threw Takako the backpack with our things. Takako caught it without problems. I picked up my handbag and stepped on the pier next to her, my sandals pressing against the old wood with a dry creak. This place looks nice. Takako glances around the island we just reached. We were at the small inlet of an island, a short boat ride away from the port. Judging by the size and the arrangement of the ancient planks all over the place, I assumed the pier we walked on to be handmade. The water below the white wood was clear and translucent. One could easily spot bright red corals lying in the seabed, all visible to the naked eye. As I continued down the pier toward the beach, I heard the engine of the boat whirring to life behind me. I turned around to see Takako exchanging a few words with the captain. Then the boat drifted away. Takako waved the boat goodbye before making her way back to me, the dry wood of the pier creaking under each of her steps. I'd love to go swimming right away, but I think we should first find a place to leave our bags at. Takako jerked her shoulders to fix the position of her bag. A good point. I think it's that way. Alright, well, let's go. Takako pointed toward the wooded area opposite from the sea, made up mostly of fern and palm trees. There was a barely visible dirt road leading into it. There should be another wide beach beyond those and past the cape. We parted the veil of greenery to see the cape beyond it. I could hear the lively sough of the wave, sorry. The beach on the other side was expansive and covered entirely in white virgin sand, causing me to squint at the light reflected from it. A few light clouds languidly drifted along the sky. Crystal blue waves beat against the bright sand. Sachi, over here! I followed Takako down a grassy hill. The sand rasped under the soles of my sandals. The beach on this side was shaped like a big croissant, surrounded by high reefs on one side and a forest on the other. The sea reflected both the blue of the sky and the green of the trees as it extended as far as the eye could see. Right in the middle, I noticed a roof. It belonged to a small wooden water cottage with a thatched roof in the middle of the sea, connected to the shore by a sturdy-looking pier. It also had a flower bed of large, red flowers to the side of its door. Ooh, that sounds so lovely. Oh, I wish. Opening the door, Takako stepped inside. The small room housed a double bed with a curtain, a couch, a table, a few chairs, and everything else to satisfy our furniture-related needs. All of the articles were in country style, giving the impression of dryness. I've never been to a water cottage before. Did you book this? Remember Mr. Tokura from the yacht? He lent it to us. Takako opened the fridge and inspected its contents as she replied. Thirsty? Yes. Are you okay with booze? As long as it's not strong, otherwise water it down a bit, okay? Takako threw her rucksack on the bed and came to my side with 2 glasses of beer in her hands. Here! After handing one of the glasses over, she gestured towards me with the other. Our glasses met with a cheery clink. I was resting on the sheet while watching Takako play around, doing a combination of cartwheels, backflips, and then a backward somersault, but her hand slipped on the last one and she landed on her bum. Hey, stop that! I don't need you hurting yourself. I gave her an indignant look as she came closer. Her silhouette blocked the bright sun, putting me in her shadow. She had fairly impressive abs for her age. I'll go take a swim. Have fun. Bye! Just swoosh! She began running towards the sea, then stopped midway and came back. And sat down next to me on the sheet in the shade of the trees. Okay. Sand's too hot! She was rubbing the soles of her feet, trying to cool them off. Need a pair of sandals? I gave the pair laying next to me a glance. Takako considered the sandals for a moment, then shifted her gaze to the sea. It won't matter once I reach the water. She stood up. I'll go take a swim. Have fun. Well, let's go swimming together later. Sure. She dashed across the sand-covered beach towards the sea. Yeah, sounds like that would be hot. I lay down on my sheet. The leaves of the palm above me were swaying in the wind. Occasionally, giving a few glimpses of the blue sky beyond them. Sachi! Uh-huh. And what's going on with you, Takako? Looking in Takako's direction, I saw her trying to keep her balance among the green waves as she attempted to put the water goggles on her face. She appeared to be saying something. The sound of the waves drowned it all out. I can't hear you. There's a really beautiful fish and corals in here! As I cocked my head, Takako shouted in a louder voice. Seemingly satisfied that I waved back at her, she put her goggles back on and dived down into the waves again. As Takako disappeared with a splash, the sea returned to its prior calm state. The light tropical breeze disturbed the leaves and the water surface, carrying a pleasant kind of humidity and warmth. And a loud splash. I absent-mindedly observed the somewhat boisterous calm of the tropical sea as Takako's face popped out of it, sending a spray of water into the sky. She was quite a distance away from where she had initially submerged. I got it! Takako began walking toward me, her legs piercing through the underwater currents. She was carrying a large bluefish. Oh gosh. There was this huge fish! She dangled it in front of me. How did you catch it? I was gazing at the distance as the shadow fell on my face. It was Takako's face, who'd been gone to explore the island that blocked my sun. Her hands reached out to me. It looks good on you. I touched my... Wait, no, whoops, that was her. It looks good on you! I touched my head to find a hibiscus crown on it. I found a cave down there. Wanna go see? She gave me a hand and pulled me up. I think it'd be better if you put your sneakers on. Oh wait, no, I think it'd be better if you put your sneakers on, as I was about to put my sand-covered sandals, or on my sand-covered sandals. Takako placed my sneakers next to them. Are you trying to take me to someplace dangerous? Not really, but it's surrounded by cliffs, and you might step on a shell along the way. I put on my sneakers while Takako picked up her thin beach coat. This smells fishy to me. I just don't want to get bit by bugs. How far is it anyway? About 20 minutes or so on foot, I think. I mean, they did say you can go around this entire island in less than an hour. She glanced down at her hand-drawn map. I leaned closer to inspect the color of her coat and smelled the citrus-like fragrance of an anti-bug spray. We trekked to the cliffs on the other side of the cape that we passed on our way to the beach, finding ourselves at what looked like a dead end surrounded by reefs. Is this really the correct way? If you go along this cliff, you should be able to pass along the sea, I think. Maybe it got sunk by a high tide or something. Wait! Takako went toward the cliff she was pointing at earlier. She stepped on the neighboring patch of water and kept walking. She took a few careful steps before turning back to me. I think we could pass through this! I followed her, the soles of my sneakers splashing at our lightly submerged bridge. Soon enough, we found ourselves at an expansive area on the other side of the cliffs. It was a huge shoal beach. A long bridge of sand extended into the sea in an arc. I've never seen anything like this before. I should have brought my camera. Takako gazed into the distance. She then continued onwards, stepping on the slightly submerged sand as she scrutinized the map in her hands. The sound of the waves felt more distant than before, the splashes of water below our feet drowning it out. The clouds drifted along the sky sluggishly and in a chaotic pattern. As I walked on, gazing at the emerald green sea, I suddenly felt like the waves on its surface were drawing closer and closer to us. Takako? Yeah? A drop of cold water landed on my head. Uh-oh. Before we knew it, a huge shadow covered the beach we were on. I glanced at the sky to see a massive storm cloud pass above us. Great! That would be my luck, to be honest. Pit-pat, pit-pat. A few ripples extended across the surface of the sea, and in the next moment, it seemed as though a waterfall had exploded above us. Oh, let's go to the woods! Takako grabbed my hand and pulled me inland. Well, that sure came out of nowhere. I'm all drenched now. I wonder if it's a squall. It feels like a typhoon. We left our things out in the open back on the beach. Yeah. Raindrops powdered against the leaves, giving the impression that someone was playing drums above our heads. Through the foliage above us, I could see a cloud sparkling in white as the sun rays pierced it. Takako sneezed. Uh-oh. Oh no. Let's hide the text so that way I can get this shot here. Boop. Whoops. I'm freezing. Oh no, I'm freezing! Just don't catch a cold in a place like this. As I leaned against the tree waiting for this to pass, Takako suddenly came closer and pressed herself against me. Uh-oh. It's warmer like this. Hey! She pressed her breast against mine. I could feel their softness through the swimsuit, our warmth blending together. As I had nowhere to escape with the tree trunk behind me, Takako began rubbing her body against me. Oh no. Am I going to have to cut this part out? I just might. Well, let's see. Just for a little bit, please. I might really catch a cold if I get any colder. Takako smiled at me. The leaves suddenly rustled behind her, and she turned around. I spotted something that looked like a big spider crawling along the ground. Oh god, causing all my muscles to tense up for a moment. Oh, it's just a coconut crab. But as I looked closer, I realized it was just one of those crabs I'd already seen all over this island. Hold it until we find our way back at least. I pushed Takako away. Jeez, it's your fault. Takako gave the patch of grass that the coconut crab had disappeared into an indignant glance. As I fixed my swimsuit, Takako gave her map a careful look before inspecting the island through the crack in the trunk. I can see the cliff from here. I feel we're close. I think we can go a bit further and hide from the rain in the cave. That's a good idea. The thick foliage protected us from most of the rain, but a few cold drops still snuck through, falling on my neck. Takako pressed forward, pushing fern leaves out of her way. Ugh. But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys, so if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. By subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!